since September, which is why she was concerned. But she said John told her that whatever they were looking at was wrong, and she's telling you he's looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now when she wrote that to you, and because you're the much better multitasker than I am, you can do multiple screens and things at one time. You went on the FEC website, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're pulling up that.
Yes, sir.
And you provided that. It shows up in the chat. It shows up in the chat.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know, you probably just pasted it in, but you're you're telling her, look, it's on the FEC website. And now you're seeing on the FEC website, because you know how to do that. John Wallace was mailed a letter on February 15th stating that there was a failure to file, and it was sent to your post office box. And you wrote, damn it, that reflects badly on you.
Yes, sir.
Jamie chats back to you, what do I say to him? I mean, I asked him before on January 31st if he filed it, and he said he had.
Yes, sir.
And I assume she's being cautious about, how do I say it? Because she's like, geez, how do I deal with this guy right now? He's just got diagnosed with cancer. I mean, how do you come down on a guy that just got told he's got this death sentence disease, right? So she's trying to be careful with him, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't want to, if that's what you think.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said, well, tell him you pulled it up on the FEC website, and it says he failed to file it. Just show him, right?
Yes, sir.
And she replies, so even if he hasn't done anything prior, then he had time to do it. And then
Yes,
we get the OMG again. And you replied, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry, babe. This reflects so poorly on you. It wasn't your fault.
Yes, sir.
And she says, I know he said he got the letter and that he called them and they said they had it and would fix it.
Yes, sir. They being the FEC.
Now you replied with the letters HM, and I didn't know whether that meant I'm not so sure about that, or if that meant high maintenance. I didn't know.
It meant
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I didn't know if it was one of those acronyms again.
No, I would let you know if it was, sir.
So she replied, so yeah, anyway, before the January 31st deadline, I asked him if he had done it. He said yes, that he'd taken care of it with John. I assume by that she meant John Wallace, right?
Yes, sir.
So if he hadn't, he certainly had time to do it still. So maybe she's giving him the benefit of the doubt. She's chatting to you. She's telling, so maybe he's telling the truth, but I didn't have any records of it in the NGP.
What she was saying, sir, was I remember somewhat clearly, was that there weren't any records of expenditures or receipts that were entered into NGP, which is mostly a manual process. So what she was saying is that he had received the letter, had called the FEC, and they said they had received the report and they would fix it.
And you're saying, well, the FEC website says they don't have it.
Yes, sir.
And she says, I know, that's why he's saying they said they'd fix it. If it isn't in the NGP, oh no. She said that's why he's saying they said they would fix it. But you're telling her, if it's not in the NGP, and if it isn't on the FEC site, then I doubt he's telling the truth.
That's what I said, sir.
Although I feel like, and then you do mention though, although you felt like if by this point, John Wallace would have mentioned that they hadn't met.
Well, they would have had to met, sorry. Let's see, if it was fourth quarter, they'd had to have met in January or February 1 and to have filed it. And so I'm sure that if John Wallace hadn't been, that was my assumption.
Sure. And she replied to you, yeah, I know. And So you said this. So surely he must have got somewhere with it.
Yes, sir. That's what I typed.
And Jamie said, well, he's pulling up his emails now. Yeah, I would think John W. would say something. So again, she's talking, and she didn't spell John. If she wanted to speak about Jonathan Broyhill, she'd usually write Jon, right?
Correct.
This was John, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's John W. So she meant Wallace. John Wallace would have said something, right?
Yes, sir.
Then she segued off. She said, oh, and I was right. I think about the loan stuff. But that's the next topic of discussion. This is the first one. So she's basically saying we're going to get the FEC report thing squared away first. Then we're going to get into the loan stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then she sort of starts to sign off. She says, okay, sending me the confirmation now. And you sort of send her a what's going on. And that sort of seems to be the end of the chat.
That was, sir.
So at that point, she must have just stopped chatting with you and just started working with him.
Yes, sir.
And I believe you're so that chatting back and forth, we already said, it's 46 minutes. But because they hadn't even gotten into the loan stuff yet at 9:30, it'd be safe to assume they went for some while after that yet.
I'm not sure for how long, but yes, sir. It carried on for a little bit longer. But my recollection is that the loan discussion was not going to be very intensive because she thought she had figured out where the discrepancy existed, sir.
Yeah, and that night, I don't think you were looking at a clock or anything. You said you all might have gone to bed, or you and Jamie might have gone to bed around, what, 10:30 or something?
That would be usual for us, yes, sir.
And then you didn't recall if John stayed up or not, but he definitely was staying overnight.
Yes, sir.
And and you said Jamie would mother him. She was like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to take you to the doctor.
Yes, sir.
So at some point when she went to bed, she must have felt, or at least indicated that she felt they were ready to go meet with Wallace the next day.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, she'd have kept working on it, right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Arbor, we'll go ahead and take a mid-morning recess at this time until 5 minutes till 11. Ladies and gentlemen, please recall the instructions I've been giving you. Don't talk among yourselves or with anyone else about the case. Don't form or express opinions about the outcome. No media or independent investigation into these matters. Please have no conversation or communication with parties, witnesses, or lawyers. Leave your notepads on your chairs and gather in the deliberation room at 5 minutes till 11. Everyone else, please remain seated. Anything outside the presence of the jury that we need to take up?
Not from the state, no.
Be in recess until 5 till 11.